All right, recording again because we just had a little mishap. I should have just kept recording because we would have just got Dustin right back. But Dustin screamed like he just like it on my side. He just like left the call, and so I was like, "Wait, what just happened?" Which obviously I knew you wouldn't do it on purpose, but I was like, "Are we really having internet trouble right now like that?"
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like it just refreshed the whole screen, but we're good. We're good. So let's do this again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dustin, and we're forever joined by.
Uh, I don't know the joke that I had earlier, but I'm not gonna do it again because the first time's the best time. So we're just gonna leave it at like I'm Trav, and we do this podcast like every so often, but we're gonna try to get back on a consistent basis. And we have separate. If you guys don't know who we are, he's Dustin. I'm Trav. We do separate solo channels as well. A lot going on there. Speaking of that, I saw you kind of, I don't know how serious you're going to take it, but I saw you kind of came back to Minecraft.
Yeah,
How did that feel? Did it
so
feel weird to
that's
record an episode again?
kind of. So that's kind of how my channel started was with Minecraft. And it was Minecraft on the Xbox, and I was doing tutorials because not a lot of people were doing it. My channel like took off pretty quick. I did that consistently for oh man, 7, 8 years, like, which is a really long time to dedicate, to something like that, let alone like just a single video game. And I got burnt out, and a lot of it happened, after I got married and like had kids, and it took so much time away, and it burnt me out. So I stopped and I focused on like movie content because like that really in the grand scheme of things is something that I'm passionate about. Like Minecraft, yeah, it's a game where you can be creative, and it was a good like creative outlet. But like, if you've ever watched my tutorials, like as I'm filling stuff in, like I'm talking about movies or I'm talking about like something else, and I realized like how unhappy I was just like doing Minecraft because I wasn't able to fully
Yeah,
talk about what I
whatever
wanted to talk
content
about.
you make, what if you don't look forward to it, that's not what you should be doing.
Exactly. So I made the switch to like and talk about movies, and then I went from like talking about movies and incorporating books into it because like I actually last year my wife and I went to Vegas, and I used to read a lot when I was younger, like in high school and stuff. I don't know, like in certain parts of high school. I shouldn't say like all of high school, but like when I was younger, I read a lot because like my mom used to read a lot, my grandma still reads a lot, so like I was always around people that were reading books. So of course that like piqued my interest, and I stopped reading for a good many years. And my wife and I were going to Las Vegas last year, and she was like, "I feel like since we have a 5 hour flight and we really can't do much, let's go get books." And since then, I've been hooked back into reading. So now my channel kind of focuses around like movies and books, and a lot of books that I read have like movie tie-ins, so it's really cool. And then yeah, so Minecraft, my friend Jordan, chronic gamer guy, who I've known for a long time through like doing this type of stuff, would always send me like pictures on Facebook Messenger of like the Minecraft builds he was working on. I'm like, man, like I kind of miss it, you know
Mm-hmm.
and then like I'd be scrolling through like TikTok, and I would get like these little speed builds of people building like these little Minecraft houses, and I was like, damn, like it just seemed like so much fun to get back into. So yeah, I told people in the video that there will be Minecraft content coming to the channel again, but it's not going to revolve around like tutorial stuff. Like that is solely what I did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be more or less just me and a couple friends just kind of building really cool things and just talking, like just normal conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and then every once in a while, maybe if I'm feeling frisky, throw a tutorial up or two, but it's not going to be like my main focus. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like found that passion for Minecraft again, and just to play it because the game was a huge part of my life. That game kind of changed my life, and, you know, put me in a pretty unique spot that I feel like not a lot of people get to experience. Like I've made money playing Minecraft. Not a lot, nothing like the crazy YouTubers that make like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but like I've made a couple $100 like here and there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
for playing video games after growing up and being told like you're never gonna make money playing video games. Well, fuck you, people, because now I do sometimes.
How I do
Not so much video games
sometimes, every
now, but
now and
like
then, small check.
like movie stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm actually really close to another YouTube payout. I'm only like $12 away. So,
yeah.
I feel like with bringing back the Minecraft content, to kind of give you guys a little insight to how analytics work on YouTube, bringing back the Minecraft content is definitely going to help with like the overall views. And my videos from years ago still like
Yeah,
are
that's what
some
I'm
of my
saying.
most
That's what I was about to
watched.
say.
Yeah.
Is you probably still are like making a few bucks here and there off of those, just because they still
Oh,
get views.
yo, absolutely. Yeah. They're definitely like my highest pays for sure. Um, but it's crazy. And I feel like, again, it's a really unique opportunity because before YouTube made all the crazy like criteria you had to hit in order to be eligible for monetization, I was kind of like grandfathered in before they
Mm-hmm.
made that whole change. So I've kind of solidified myself in space, like in the space of Minecraft, because like I still weekly, daily even get comments on my old videos of people like leaving timestamps because I'm talking these videos are 5, 6, 7 years old
Mm-hmm.
and they're still gaining tens of thousands of views monthly. So it's really cool that like it's kind of like I'm still kind of there. Like I guess people can go back and like look at my channel now and be like, oh dude, your views aren't what they used to be, and that's true. And a lot of people may say like that I have a dead channel, quote unquote, but it's really not. Like it's just the older stuff that does better than the newer stuff, and I understand. I went from making a certain type of content for 8 years to just stopping and just completely changing everything that I was doing to make myself more happy with the content that I was producing. Because at the end of the day, this content is for me. If you
Mm-hmm.
happen to like movies and you stumble across it, awesome. If you're not into it and you don't watch, awesome. It doesn't bother me either way. But I always like to say that there's, a little bit of something for everybody on my channel, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I second the whole like do content that you love. Because like I've had trap tries for years, and I still am technically like making videos for that. But there are times where I'm like, man, like especially when I got more into streaming, because like kind of like Dustin, I guess sort of the flip flop of it. Because I mean, Dustin also made money on Twitch too, but like I
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like
yeah.
I found it interesting. Like the first moment that I like got my first like Twitch payout on Twitch was like, wow, like look at like, and this isn't like, because YouTube is just different, and like I've just been on there for so long, and it like, and unlike Dustin, I was like right under the grandfather whatever little bar there, where like I did lose my monetization with trap tries, and then like I never really gained it back. Not that it was a goal, because if I like this is kind of an example of like how I agree with Dustin on that, is like if I really wanted to to pursue like my main YouTube channel as like make enough money to like quit my job and like actually do it, I would have to like go out and hit like everything. I'd have to constantly film this new fast food item, this new drink, this new like, but and really start to like pivot to like food like majorly, because it really does bring in a lot of views. Like look at Poppy Eats, look at Ian Peep This Out, like, and other people, but like
They do well.
they do well. But I hit a wall at some point where I did realize, like like this isn't gonna make me happy, because you know what, the irony of my channel is I love trying the stuff that doesn't get the views as much. Like, yes, Doritos and like snacks and stuff still get views, but not as much as like this new thing or this thing that's like, I don't know, someone trying a new food item in Japan or something crazy. And food reviewing in general has just changed over the years as for like, because YouTube's changed and it makes sense. But like, I'm actually more passionate about the Mountain Dews, the like snacks and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I sort of just like pivoted to like, I'm just gonna record videos of new stuff that I find like, and I do look out for it. And I do like when it comes to Mountain Dew, it's like that's something I'm always looking at the internet, like where can I get this new thing as fast as possible. But then other people do that with everything, and it's just exhausting. And whenever you do that with a full-time job, it's just hard. It's really hard to do that. And so I just hit a wall at some point where I made the decision like I'm not going to pursue this because I know it doesn't make me happy. Like maybe if I was getting those checks, I would start to be but just like Dustin, it's like you have to make the content that makes you happy. And then on the side of that, I really really have come to love streaming. Like it's
Yeah.
just it comes down to you build these personal this connection. You're there with your chat, and when you kind of niche down a little bit and play one game for a little while, and then you start to like really get people in and like actually subbing and all that stuff, and that doesn't even have to be a thing. People don't even have to sub. Like I just appreciate the people being there because it's literally like hanging out with them. And yes, it's a lot of work. The streamer mindset is way different than the YouTube mindset. It is completely different. Streaming and making videos is like two completely different things, even though they seem similar, but they are completely different.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And when I was doing
So yeah.
Twitch too, is like the money was a lot more consistent. I was getting paid out every month. I shouldn't say like the amount was consistent, but the pays were consistent. I hit a payout every month. With YouTube, it's a little bit different. I get paid maybe like 120, 150 bucks like every 3 or 4 months, like once every 3 or 4 months, which again, I also work full time. So like, I don't rely on it. But like when I do get close, like right now, like I'm close to that payout, like, yeah, it is more of a motivation because I take that money and I'm like, okay, well now I can order this like limited edition steelbook, for example, that I've really wanted, because then I know that I can take that $15 movie that I bought, $20 movie, and make content on it or a video on it and talk about it. And I know for a fact that that's going to regenerate more revenue. You know, that's how I look at it. Everything I make on YouTube, I use it for nothing. Like there's no personal gain. It's literally like I get that money and I buy stuff to put it right back into content. And my wife and I were talking. There's a company that I buy from. They're called Vinegar Syndrome, and they put out like really kind of like crazy, obscure movies that not a lot of people really know about. And you definitely have to like, I think, some type of movie to appreciate what that company does, because they're definitely like, if I like had Trav over at my house and I pulled out my Vinegar Syndrome movies, Trav would be like, I'm not watching a single fucking movie in that stack because I just know like it's not for you. My wife doesn't watch them. Like there's a movie called Blades. It's Jaws, but it's a fucking lawnmower on a golf course. It's stupid. It's stupid. And like they put out like a lot of exploitation films, so like things that are very sexual in nature. I don't buy those, but they have like separate labels that they release those types of movies under. And I wouldn't say they're like porn, but they're not. They're like sexploitation. Like it's just a little more risque, I guess, in terms of movie content. But they have the subscription that you sign up for like once a year. It's $1,000, right? Like you pay $1,000 one time, but every month you get a box of 12 Blu-rays, right? And these Blu-rays and these box sets that they send you range from anywhere from 50 to over $100 per box set, and you get 12 movies a month. And I, like my wife and I talked about it. She's like, I think it'd be really cool, because like I'm passionate about movies. She's like, to take like part of our tax return and do something like that. She's like, because then you have stuff coming every month, and it's stuff
Yeah.
you can show off every single month. So, it's things like that. It's like putting back into the channel. Like, now, would I care if I put $1,000 into the subscription? I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but if I did, I wouldn't be upset if I didn't make $1,000 in return. That's not my goal, because I see it as like, that's content that's going to be up on my channel forever, unless like some force of YouTube takes it down. It's always going to be something that's going to generate revenue over time anyway. So it's
always the videos that you don't even, it's like the videos that you just literally like turned on the camera and just talked about something, and then you didn't put a lot of, not to say you don't put effort, but like just you don't have the second thought of like, yeah, this is going to get a lot of views, and it's the ones that you try too hard at that don't. And that's what surprises me, because like with the food channel, that happens to me all the time. It's literally the ones that I'm just like, whatever, I'm gonna put this on the internet, like just very low key about it, and then like it just, and give it a few weeks, and all of a sudden I'm at 1,000 views or something, and I'm like, what just happened? Or like really a video doing well for me is like a few hundred, but that still blows my mind, because my average is always like under 100 and just kind of sits like that.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I mean, there's different things, like if either of us were to turn up the volume with it, and like literally just pursue something really hardcore, then we could probably make it in that way. But it's like,
it's also so hard to do that.
It's
with being
so
like
much work,
human.
like and just with our daily jobs and everything, you have to take quite a big leap of faith for someone to be like, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and pursue this. The only problem with that is, like, whenever you start to realize it's not working, it's like, you're kind of in a hole. So then, but, I think life should have some leaps of faith every now and then. And that can mean anything, like starting a new, like, I think anybody out there that's like, oh yeah, I want to start this channel, and then you just see them never do it, like, just try it. Like, press record on something, and just like, and try it. You'll start to have fun with the evolution of your editing and all that. It don't have to be this like masterpiece in like 4K and everything on Adobe Premiere. Like, just literally start to learn how to edit videos, make the stuff you love, and you'll start feeling this weight off you, because you realize, I'm actually doing that, like, I've always wanted to do. That's like at my core, and like, that everybody knows that thing that you've always wanted to do. It's weighing you down because you need to get it out. It's like it's just a creative outlet. And once you even if that one video on that one channel is the only thing that ever goes up on that channel, like, there's still a weight that comes off you. Let everything else kind of come with time if you're going to continue to make content for it. But make the video for that. And that comes with streaming and stuff too. Go live for your first time, but don't let live for the first time be the judge of how it is, because you're probably gonna have like nobody, or just one, or your best friend or something sitting in there, and that's it. Like, that's different, but still go live and just keep experimenting as you go.
Exactly,
and you will get growth.
I feel like the thing with YouTube too, especially in the food community, and I can touch base on this because I've done the food reviews. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. There's times I miss it, where like my wife and I go out and I see like something different. I'm like, oh, like, it just makes me want to like pick it up and do it again. But we haven't. It's just hard. But like, we were in Sam's Club, and we found they always pull out like the Doritos collisions before like big box retailers get them. So like the last time, like the Doritos collision was like tangy pickle and Cool Ranch. They were good. This time, it's nacho cheese and loaded taco. And they're good. And it's just like, man, like, I feel like this would make a decent review, because I've seen nobody else review them. Like, I follow a lot of food review people. Nobody's done it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and what I'm trying to get at with this is, when you do a certain type of content, especially in the food thing, it's so easy to get into the competition mindset of like, oh, well, McDonald's has this new Kit Kat.
You're going to be one of like 1,000 videos.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, don't waste your money on the Kit Kat banana thing, McFlurry, the banana split McFlurry. I was very disappointed. It kind of sucked.
Oh, the McFlurry. I thought you were about to say there's like a new Kit Kat flavor that Ashley kept walking by and saying that just seems so disgusting, and I never even got
It's
it.
it's the McFlurry, and well, it sounds good because I like
Yeah.
banana flavored anything, and banana splits are good. And you think, okay, you crumble up Kit Kats and put it on top of banana split, it's gonna be good. No, it wasn't bad. I would never go out of my way to buy it again. Like that was that was it. I was cool with that. But and it's funny why I wanted to talk about this because Lucas and I literally just had this conversation yesterday about like food reviewing because Lucas, does reviews every once in a while.
Yeah,
But like
proud of
he'll
him for
review
that.
them.
He actually is being consistent with it too.
Yeah,
Like, so.
he'll review stuff, but he'll put it out like months later. He will because he just holds on to it because
Yeah, because it's like when you feel like it, that's when you should edit it.
Exactly. And he was like, he did like a review of like a Walmart breakfast sandwich, and it did really well for Lucas, like over 200 views in like 24 hours. And Lucas is like, holy shit, dude. He's like, I didn't think that like a breakfast sandwich, like a great value breakfast sandwich, like that you can go buy underneath the little heat lamps of Walmart would have done well. And it made me think of Jason Callan, who was a mutual
shout out JC.
Yeah.
And not Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a mutual friend. I mean, he might be a mutual friend between Travis and I, and he has been in the review space for a while. I feel like he's kind of gotten away from the review side of things. He does a lot of lives, and it's a lot.
He does a lot of everything. He's I think his vision from the very beginning was always like, I'm always just gonna be me and literally just throw whatever on my channel. Which if that works for you, that's great. I mean, honestly, shout out to him because when it comes to the numbers thing, he's seen a lot of growth over the years. A lot.
And well, that's what I was telling Lucas. I was like, yeah, it's something obscure. Like it's not a high ticket item. It's not like from a big fast food restaurant. You know? And I was like, that's what works for Jason Callan. Yeah. Jason Callan will review anything. You could make that guy a dog shit sandwich and he'd review it.
He's the one that recommended me those fast bite sandwiches from like Dollar Tree, bro. And honestly, I need to look back to see how many views my fast bite reviews has. But because it was like after I met him, it was literally like we're talking like the 2015 era, and so yeah, and so for me, and as people can really notice, there was a change. Whereas like I stopped doing a lot more like fast food stuff, and then I just kind of did the slower but consistent, like, snacks, drinks, and, like, the occasional, like, new thing from, like, a pizza place or whatever.
Did you ever get the Bones coffee stuff?
I did. I had... Which one did I have? Did I take a picture of the one with the unicorn on it? Was it
the electric unicorn, yeah.
Yeah.
That one is the weakest out of the ones I've tried. It was good.
Okay, so I tried the s'mores one as well, and I think me and Ashley both agreed. And I'm not sitting here saying that Dustin doesn't have good taste in coffee. I'm not going to say that, but both of us were kind of agreeing on like the canned coffee taste was just a little off. But that's also because I'm very used to the incredibleness of 7 Brew. So whenever you drink 7 Brew and then drink something like that, totally different. I'm not saying I can't have like coffee that has that bitter coffee taste, because there's some that do that well. Some companies do that well, some don't. And so far we're not like impressed, but I need to try more flavors. But and it's cool. It's cool that they're just there at Walmart though. So
yeah, the French toast is like that's the most flavorful coffee I've ever tried. Because Trista tried the French. She got the French toast for the first time when I got the electric unicorn. And then we both had the s'mores, which we enjoyed.
I was trying to remember, because Electric Unicorn, it's fruity cereal flavor. That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah. So it's going for, like, the Fruity Pebbles thing, and I tasted it.
It's so
and it was just, like... It's not quite like... I mean, it is like fruity cereal. You could tell they're trying to do that in there. But it's just very artificial tasting. But I guess it was just the coffee taste in it, I guess. But I think Ashley's right about the can. Like, this just kind of metallic ness in there. But it's funny because I'm pretty sure I've had other canned coffees before that are better. So I don't know,
I don't
I
really
mean,
drink
some
a lot
stuff's
of
just,
coffee
and
out of a
coffee's
can.
really hardcore when it comes to like some stuff's just gonna be for somebody and some isn't, and everybody likes different types of taste in coffee.
Well,
It's like one of the most
absolutely.
controversial drinks ever.
Absolutely. I've had some canned coffee that I didn't like. I mean, I definitely think Bones does really well, and they're unique. Their flavors are unique, and I feel like that's what's like
You
a
know
big
what? I'm
thing.
calling it right now, by the way. Okay, check this out. So, you guys heard it here first. It's not like an inside scoop or anything because I love Liquid Death, but I don't have any inside information about that. But you guys notice they started with waters. They're starting to do teas. I can guarantee you within at least a couple years, Liquid Death is going to try coffee. I would be very interested because imagine like a tall boy like that, but it's coffee and who knows how much caffeine they're gonna pack in that, but they're gonna kill it with the names of the flavors. I mean, I can't even keep up anymore. They literally these new teas have all these different like flavors. Like the most newest I've had is the I called it like the Halloween one, but it's not really Halloween. It's black and orange. Dang it, what was it called? Oh, Squeezed to Death because it's just orange flavor in it. But what surprised me about that one, I tasted like 3 of them and I didn't realize. I was wondering why I kind of felt like a little kick. Like I was like, this is just water, right? I look at the back, it has like 15 grams of sugar in it. And I'm like, since when did Liquid Death put sugar in anything but the teas? So this was like sparkling water but had sugar. So you kind of have to pay attention, but like I do drink Liquid Death like water whenever I do kind of like buy it occasionally, like once or twice or a month or something. But like I haven't had it in a while. But like
See, I like Liquid Death, and I've had the flavored sparkling waters, and they're good.
but I prefer it as water is my point. Like I
Yeah,
would rather just have like the black can or the white can. The white can is still my favorite. It's just
it's
plain
just
water,
plain water. Yeah.
and sometimes I do want the sparkling kind of bite in there, but I get tired of it by the time I finish the can. So, but I was just thinking that was like an idea right now. Like I could see them doing coffee eventually. That'd be crazy. Like
Well,
Liquid Death, but it picks you up. Like there would be some humor with that.
Bones Coffee started as like coffee grounds, and they took off, and they've had crazy collaborations. They did like a whole Fallout thing. It was awesome. They have like a
Yeah, the
SpongeBob
can art's
collaboration.
phenomenal. Like all the cans have
Oh,
been they're so
their
nice to they catch your
branding
they catch your eye as soon as you're walking through there.
their branding is immaculate, and they do really well as a company in that regard. And I'm sure that like their cup because they also make K cups that you can put in, like a Keurig. Which I'm sure right now, like those are, probably like exclusive to their website because the cans are like Walmart. That's it. It's just Walmart. But they do really well. Like their site does really well. Their Fallout stuff sold out. Like they even made hand spun and hand painted mugs for Fallout that they like had like an artist come in and like literally into the clay, like do like Fallout artwork and shit. It's really really cool. They do really cool stuff. It's expensive. That's like the one downside. But I would honestly like to eventually like try their like their K cups because we have a Keurig, and we have a Keurig that brews like hot or iced coffee. So like I could get their K cups and brew it over ice and have it in iced coffee form. Because like I don't know, I don't mind coffee. I don't drink it a whole lot. I like the flavor of it. My wife's a cup of coffee every day person. Like she has to drink coffee every morning.
Yeah.
I prefer iced over hot, but I can drink
Yeah,
hot.
same.
So like I don't know.
Do y'all have a 7 Brew in your area, or have they not made it over to y'all?
I've never even heard of it. If that answers your
Okay,
question,
well,
yeah,
I mean, you're gonna.
we're coffee at home people
Yeah,
because buying coffee
it is.
out,
It does get expensive.
it
Yeah,
really does. My wife
but
hates Starbucks. If my wife buys coffee out, it's Dunkin'. Oh, it's always
if
Dunkin'.
if they ever do put one in your area, I mean, I'll just keep pestering you about it till you try it. But I'll be like, dude, just spend the money like to try at least once. And I won't even tell you what I get until like you do get to try it because it's just gonna just like it don't even matter what it's called. But it is literally like I asked the guy one time, and this was like really recently, so I'm already probably however many cups in, and I don't have it every day because it really is like expensive. I will say their prices haven't gone down. I don't know if that's to do with summer and they're trying to just do discounts or what, but they did like kind of come down like a couple bucks, but for a large or whatever. Um, but it is like so like for like I know that we're doing stuff tomorrow like for my birthday like instead of today because I just gotta work and like I already have pre-planned like I want like a birthday coffee as from Seven Brew, like just go and buying it. I don't think they give you one for free, but you do get one free every 10 cups that you get. So that's kind of nice to look forward to that free one. But it is I'll just say it is how would I say this? Like Seven Brew is the most legally good I can feel. like like and I asked him, I was like, how much, like, freaking caffeine? And they don't go, like, crazy, but they do. The regular large has, like, an espresso shot already in it. And it's, like, the normal amount of, like, we're talking, like a Celsius has 200 milligrams of caffeine, even in those, like, skinny cans that they have, like, the tall ones. And it's around that for Seven Brew, if not maybe a little more. But I'm so awake, but not in the way of like jittery. I just feel good, and like literally, I think I made the joke to him or something. I was like, "How much espresso is in this? What do you do? But y'all got you secretly putting cocaine back there? Like literally, like it's like I'm awake, and when I drink it, but and just the good thing of like I like something that lasts throughout the day, I'm not one of those people that consumes all my some people like to chug their caffeine and then just like let it kind of like go through your system all day, but I like to just take my time with my drinks.
Here's the thing for me is that caffeine really doesn't have the effect on me in terms of like waking me up. It's really weird. It's really odd. Like I could drink a cup of coffee with like
And you
two
and
shots
Ryan
of
are
espresso
similar
in it,
because
and
he
I can go
claims
to
that he
sleep.
can't he doesn't have caffeine effectiveness. He's always said that yeah, I've tried like energy drinks before and they do nothing, and I still want to go to sleep. And I'm just like
Some energy drinks
I don't know.
have. Liquid ice was one that worked.
Man, I
Like
miss
for
liquid
me,
ice.
yeah, they worked for me. But like there's some that just don't. It's
Well,
it's like
okay, I
almost
kind of
pointless.
I want to break this down then. So like okay, so I guess I've technically always just been very like the normal person when it comes to caffeine, and I guess you could call it sensitive to caffeine, but I don't know if I'd be considered sensitive because some things don't boost me as much. And I've done a lot of like I love experimenting with these things too. It's just like oh, let me see like how I feel after drinking this coffee like one day, and then the very next day like drink a Celsius instead of a coffee and just see like but I feel like when it comes to work and stuff like sort of my best I guess mental performance would be like Celsius or something. But if I really want like caffeine all day kind of thing, it would be like a Seven Brew or something like that. But okay, so okay, let's just say what is your most regular caffeinated beverage? Like is it something you have at home, like a soda, or is it or what would it be?
So probably, and I really I've been drinking only like one or two sodas a day
Heck yeah.
recently. My wife and I have these cups. They're called Swigs. They're really expensive. Like kind of like better than Stanley. Stanleys are fucking stupid. And if you buy Stanleys, you're fucking stupid. Unless Ashley buys Stanley, she's cool. She's an exception. I just think the Stanley cups. I hate the hype around Stanley cups. That doesn't matter.
Right.
Anyway, we have Swigs. I bought my wife one for her birthday last year before she gave birth to our baby, and she took it to the hospital. And I mean, we were filling that thing with ice like once every like 14, 15 hours, sometimes even longer. Like the ice lasts so long in it and the water stays cold for so long. So my wife got me a smaller version of what she had because I don't need like a big 44-ounce tumbler to carry around. So I have like a little travel like coffee mug, which I put iced coffee in there and it stayed cold for hours. So I've been drinking a lot of like ice water and out of the swig. So yeah, but like it's usually just soda. If I do have an energy drink, My wife and I are fans of C4, so when I do have those, but like even those, like they really don't affect me like they affect other people. Like I know people that can drink an energy drink and they're like, woo, like I flip fucking buses all day. I don't.
We
I
all
can
know that
drink it.
guy.
I can drink a C4. I get the body tingles, and then I can go lay down and go to sleep. However, I did have an experience with caffeine earlier in the week, and it wasn't in a drink. It was in medicine. So last Wednesday, I had the worst migraine of my fucking life all day. It was so bad.
Oh
And
gosh.
my wife had to work like 9 hours that day. I'm at home with 3 kids. Worst headache ever. I took medicine 3 or 4 times that day, like normal medicine I take for a headache that normally knocks it out. Nothing. It just would not go away. So my wife was coming home from work. She's like, "Hey, do you want me to stop at like Sheets and get you like, some Excedrin extra strength, like medicine, like migraine medicine?" And I was like, "No, it's okay. I've never taken Excedrin medicine in my life. Okay, I'm going to be 32 years old. I've never taken Excedrin in my life." So we have a laundromat that my landlord owns that my wife and I go clean. Well, my wife and my 2 other children, if you hear my baby in the background, I'm sorry. He's having a moment this morning. My landlord owns this laundromat or whatever, and there's a Sheets like on the way back home. It's like 2 minutes away. So my wife and the 2 oldest go, and I stay home with the baby, and she comes back and she's like, I'm your knight in shining armor. Here's Excedrin extra strength. Take it. It will make your migraine go away. And I was like, okay. I didn't read the box. Okay. And it literally says right on the front of the box, caffeine. And there's enough caffeine in there to fucking tranquilize an elephant. I can't remember the exact amount, but it's a lot. And mind you, I took these pills at 10:30 at night. Okay. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, whatever, it's going to make my headache go away. I'm going to go to sleep.
You stayed awake, like, or you couldn't sleep very good, I guess.
I had to work the next day. Let's just say I didn't go to bed till close to 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I was back up at 8. So,
but you probably were, honestly, it was probably one of those short sleeps where you don't feel like you still probably feel like crap, but you don't feel like absolute garbage because the caffeine is still in your system.
oh no, I felt like absolute garbage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But,
no,
I mean,
like
I mean, if you took them at 10 p.m., like it takes roughly 10 hours of like the half-life to leave your system. So it probably was still in your system, but you also are so much more used to getting your normal amount of sleep. So it was kind of fighting it.
Thursday, I got up to go to work Thursday. It was so bad. Trista drove me into work. Thank God she needed the car that day. There's no way I would have been able to drive. I was so tired. So I get to work. I have to get on this manager call.
Oh no.
So I get on this call. I'm like rubbing my eyes constantly. I'm yawning. My Sarah, my boss, and then the boss over the stores in Pittsburgh was on that call, and they started asking me questions about like how my store did so well for like the month of July.
And you're probably just spacing out like
So I'm answering them, but like I couldn't form a coherent sentence.
Right, yeah.
And so like the call ends, my boss Sarah calls me and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "That was like I could tell like something's not right." And I like explained to her what happened, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, you need to go home and go to sleep." And I was like,
"Oh heck yeah."
Yeah. So I come home, and it's funny, I build my daughter's electric scooter because I wasn't allowed to do anything.
You still had more to do.
Yeah. So I go lay down, pass out hard for like maybe 15 minutes, right? My wife comes in with the baby, scares the shit out of me. Like it woke me up. Like I don't know. Like she didn't touch me or anything like that.
Yeah,
like, she didn't, like, there was no loud noise. But like I felt her presence. It scared shit out of me. Like I jumped awake. And I was good. I was like fucking like I could go run a marathon right now. So then, like we I don't remember what we did, but we ended up eventually, like a couple hours later, going to my mom's house to go swimming. She has a big pool. Super tired again. And I jump in my mom's pool. It's ice cold, but it's
You did a
92
cold
degrees
plunge.
outside. Yeah, it's 92 degrees outside, so it feels good. And so I was like awake again, and then that night we come home, and my head hit the pillow, and that was it, dude. It was straight slumber, no dreams, just like I like died. Which is kind of what happened last night. Trav and I were supposed to record this at 8:30 in the morning. It's 11:49 a.m. my time. Friends over last night. They left at like 2 in the morning. And my body clearly, I just needed sleep. Honest
Yeah,
to
like
God,
literally, I could read you guys the text. What did you say? You said, because I texted you 30 minutes after we were supposed to record, because I mean,
and then I texted you an
no
hour and a
offense
half
to you
later.
at all, but you did. But no offense to you at all, but you did that last time, so I kind of expected it. I was like, it's your day off, like you're gonna sleep in, and I have all morning and on, because today is different for me, because it's like a Friday for me, so I can just stay up. But like, what did he say? I said, wait, what did you say? Hold on.
You were like, "You good?" I was like,
I was like, you good? And all you said at 9:30 a.m. my time, 9:31 a.m. So I like died. I'm just like, but yeah, like it just it happens, and like that. I tell him way before we even, like a few days before we record, hey, like you don't gotta be at that time, because you're probably you're more than likely to hit snooze, because I know I would.
I didn't
So
even set an alarm.
so
I just
it's just
I
like.
was so tired.
And so even when you first said earlier in the week, yeah, we could do like 8:30, I'm thinking like, dude, you do not have to get up that early. Like, but I understand, because you're used to getting up in the morning anyway. But yeah, and like that whole staying up later, like me and Ashley are used to that, but we have our own version of like, because we are day sleepers, so there's a version of that where like a certain time in the day and afternoon is like really pushing it, like, oh gosh, we're gonna get up by accident at like 3 a.m. or something, which is like not even really night anymore. You're actually more so getting up too early in the morning, and then I really have to like, there's been times like I messed up I think it was like my last like Friday that I had, because I only had to go back to work for 2 days, but whatever Friday I just had a few days ago, I streamed for, this has been a while since I've done this, like my longest streams have always been 6 hours. I streamed for like, I hit like on the dot like 7 hours and 1 minute. And it was like 6 p.m. my time, and granted that means like I haven't slept since the day before. So it took me at least 2 days to fix my sleep schedule back, because then you gotta like, you have to rather nap, and I'm not a napper, so it's like I rather push, like when I wake up again the next night, I have to rather push until like a ridiculous time to kind of like fix it, or just like try to go to bed like earlier to like, or what I usually do is like, okay, my next sleep is going to be a shorter sleep, just force myself to get up and like set an alarm. That way you're good and tired for your regular set schedule. You go to bed around the time you usually do on the next day, at least you're getting sleep in between then. But like it's hard to fix it, like, because once you mess it up, you're going to spend like a day or two to get it back. It's crazy.
Yeah. I fucked up
Just
Friday.
like jet lag on vacation and stuff. Because like when me and Ashley go on vacation, we almost kind of start adjusting, because you can't like do unless you're in Vegas, which have been just like Dustin kind of right before him. But like you can do like the nightlife there. But certain vacations, things close, and you kind of, we switch the days when we go on vacation. So then we got to come back home and freaking get back on nights again. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, everybody gets jet lagged on vacation and stuff.
Oh yeah, when I went to Vegas, that shit. Oh, that was a nightmare.
I heard something. Oh, actually, I remember. I really wish we could have this man on the pod. It would literally be like a dream. It'd be like a bucket list thing to have like a guest, but it'll probably never happen, because for one, I don't know how to reach out to him. And I mean, I could do some research, I get, but I really want to have Matthew Walker, the sleep scientist. on, because I re-listened to a portion of like when he was on Joe Rogan, like, well, it was like a year or two ago he was on Joe Rogan. He said, and I never even thought about this, so, and I'm sure you relate to me with this, but like when you sleep in a hotel, you know how like just basically generally on a vacation you're just kind of more tired than normal sometimes?
Oh yeah.
Like just going out and doing if you go to a museum or you do something or in the morning or breakfast or whatever, like, man, why am I just so tired? Like you're just generally more tired, especially by the end of it. You might be okay at first, but then like the, jet lag and stuff like this. He basically says like, and you could just, I don't have a PhD in any of this, so it's like I have to just kind of take Matthew Walker's word as fact, because he's the guy that's like doing all these experiments and stuff, and he's a neuroscientist, so I just kind of take it as fact. But so supposedly he basically is saying like, and I'm not gonna say it in a smart way like him, I'm gonna just speak straight English. But basically, half your brain is awake when you go somewhere. And this is also why you don't sleep as well at like a friend's house and stuff like that. Because it's our natural sort of instinct humanly, because we're almost sort of like animals in a way where we have like these certain instincts and stuff. And your body knows you're in a different location. So that's why you're jolting awake to like every little, like the girl outside that does housekeeping or whatever made a noise or whatever. Like you don't sleep as good on the road, hotels, if you were like a band or something and you're so used to sleeping at home and you're sleeping like in a bus, there's a reason that you're just so, you just are go, but you're deep down just kind of like, man, I'm just getting all this exhaustion, is because like there's certain words for it, but basically it's I forgot the exact word he used, but that's why. And I've always wondered, man, why does it feel like I'm like half awake when I'm sleeping in a hotel? Like I'm not like getting like a full, like I don't go into the deep sleep. Is because of that. I don't think I've ever woke up in a hotel. There's might be twice in my whole life I've ever woke up in a hotel saying, yeah, I feel well rested. Like, no. Like, you're just always like, oh, we gotta get up, but to check out at 11, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I get mentally exhausted on a vacation because at the end of the day, deep down, I kind of just want to be home and do my own thing. Like, I love vacations, and it's worth it in the time you have, but that part of you is just like, man, I'm just so excited to get home.
Oh, yeah.
But
absolutely.
Just absolutely, and it just, like, ends.
I feel it. I feel that. I just have a hard time sleeping in new places in general.
Yeah.
I always have. It's just like, even when Tristan and I first moved into this house, like, yeah, it's our house, but like, it was like, it's weird, man.
We had that
it's
too. We had that adjustment. We slept, like I said, I kind of counterintuitive to what I just said, but we actually slept better, I think. We realized it after, because our old apartment, I think I might have told Dustin this before, but he probably doesn't really, it's not something that you probably remember, but like, but that was the hottest, like our bedrooms happened to be like the warmest in the apartments because it was the back room. Something about like every other room before it is getting the ventilation, like it's getting like all the cool, like, because my guest room where my studio was, where you guys could see, like if you go back on old Bearded Bros episodes, that's what I'm recording in, that was like the coolest room in the apartment, and it was nice for guests to come over and like sleep in there, and it's nice and cool, and you're supposed to technically sleep in a cold room. And I know there'd be a lot of people that argue I can't sleep in like a super frozen room, whatever. Like, look, scientists say you're supposed to, like, you don't have to do that, but like you probably, if you sleep in a cold room, you're getting better sleep. It's just, they've done all kinds of research on it. But me and Ashley also just love cold compared to hot. That's just how we are. So we're like lucky. We're like, oh, science is saying like what we already like is how you sleep. So hottest room in the apartment, was our bedroom. And so just during the summer, it was always brutal. I used to work at Walmart. I'd get up at a certain time, go into work, and, I can tell, like, you roll over and you have that moment where you're like, man, I have a wet spot of sweat and all that. No, not pee. Everyone get your head out of the gutter. But like, my back would be sweating or whatever. And it's gotten, like, warm in the room here, but, like, not. And granted, we use box fans. Like, we blast. Like, it depends on mine. Like, I at least rely on her side. She's got her own box fan. It's on 3. It's on full max. So I have that sound going that helps me sleep. I don't necessarily need air blowing right onto me like that. But occasionally during the summer, I will turn on, like, 1 or 2 on my side. But that's what I was even talking about. But, like, when we first moved in here, we were so relieved because when we did when our realtor showed us the house, we weren't sure, like, if, like, were we going to get lucky. We loved the house so much. We're like, well, we're going to take a leap of faith when it comes to the bedrooms, AC or whatever. And at least with it being our house, we could maybe at least do something about it. Like, except for, unlike when you're in an apartment and you can't necessarily pay to do certain repairs and stuff. But we were relieved to find out that they're literally right where our bed is. There's a vent just right above us, and it's just blowing right onto us. And ironically, so my studio this time ended up being the hot room. And I'm like, dang it makes it so much worse when I'm streaming and stuff, and I don't want to turn on a fan because it'll just blow right into the mic. So sometimes I am getting hot because I'm just like, and when I get warm, I kind of get more tired and more, like, less energy. So I'm like, dang it, this sucks. But it's all good because we got lucky with the bedroom because, like, we woke up, like, we slept in the bedroom first time, like, a little bit into it. And then, a few days into it, we both had an open conversation about it. Like, are you, like, feeling more rested like I am? And she was just like, yeah, I feel better than I have in a long time when it comes to sleep. And I'm like, it's literally the colder bedroom. It makes so much of a difference. It's insane how much of a difference it makes. And because, like, and people could say, well, even if you have a warm room, just turn on a fan or whatever. No, like, actual, like, cold air makes a difference.
Oh, it does. It's a huge difference.
And even though we were still having that half sleep thing where it's like, this is a new place, it's kind of mysterious. But once we got used to the place, all of a sudden I started having these really, like, more deeper sleeps. Now I feel like I could still have off sleeps now because I'm used to the place. So it's just like my body already did the adjustment. So it's not like I permanently have been having the best sleep of my life now. At all. But for that time, that was just so nice.
Sleeping in cold is nice. So our house, it's an older house. We don't have, like, central air. Eventually, it's something that I'm sure we can do. It's expensive as shit. It's crazy expensive. But it got so hot in our bedroom a few weeks ago, well, probably a couple months ago now. It was so hot that, like, even with the window open and the fans on, like, it wasn't doing anything. We actually took our mattress off our bed and, like, took it in the living room where there's, like, we have a permanent air conditioner in the wall. And yeah, we had to sleep out there. And it was weird the first couple nights, but then we got some nights of good sleep, and then we got tired of sleeping in the living room. So then we just moved everything back into the bedroom and kind of dealt with it. But it's been cooling off. It's been raining here, so, like, now at night it's a little bit cooler in our room, so definitely helps with the sleep. I did something I said I would never do in my lifetime. I bought a pair of Crocs.
I don't know what brand these are. Hold on, these are literally Crocs. They're not actually branded Crocs. Did you get the rugged shark ones from Walmart?
No, I bought actual Crocs, like, from the website. Yeah.
Well, I use these as, like, house shoes just because, like, we get wolf spiders and stuff, so I'm kind of always on alert with, like, having shoes on. But yeah, Yeah, so yours is probably more of like you actually want to wear them out and about.
Well, no, that's the thing is I think they're Crocs are the ugliest fucking shoes in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, and people always talk about how comfortable they are, and I'm like, I refuse to ever buy a pair of Crocs because I know that they're going to be comfortable, and I know I'm going to like them, and that's just going to piss me off because I hate the way they look. And yeah, I went on their website. They haven't arrived yet, but I bought a gray pair because I'm a basic bitch, and I got my wife the Hocus Pocus ones because she loves Hocus Pocus, and she thinks Crocs are hideous too. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna use them as house shoes. I refuse to be the person that wears Crocs outside unless I'm like cosplaying as like a fucking 5'3" semi overweight Deadpool. They don't need to leave my house. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm really curious. If they do leave my house, it would be to go to my mom's because again, my mom has a ginormous swimming pool, and they're just good water shoes because they're rubber, so you don't have to worry about them like stinking. You know, like when your shoes get wet. So that's pretty cool.
Sending you my foot right now. No, it's just I'm sending you the Croc. But yeah, I really love the black and white of the tie dye of these. But yeah,
I've seen those at Walmart. I've never tried them. I've never even tried a pair of Crocs on. So like when I get these in the mail, that's going to be my first experience with Crocs at my 31 years of life. Cause I literally told myself, I was like, I would never fucking own a pair of Crocs. They're the ugliest things in the world. I have customers that come in and wear them. They're like, I swear by them. And I'm like, I can't. I'll never admit to them that I own a pair of Crocs when they come. But
right.
you know, I don't know, man. There's just something about them. But people swear by them. But see, I wear Hey Dudes. Hey Dudes are like my favorite types of shoes, and Crocs makes Hey Dudes. Like Crocs owns Hey Dudes.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, they bought them out. I think like a year or two ago, for like a lot of money. Like the dude that made Hey Dudes made out like a bandit, millions of dollars. But yeah, Crocs now like manufacturers. It was just what happened was it was like Hey Dudes got so popular and they couldn't keep up with like the demand. So
Yeah.
obviously like it made sense to have like a brand like Crocs, you know, manufacture everything. Obviously they're ginormous, super, you know, popular thing. So yeah, I mean it just I guess really helped Hey Dudes in the end, but I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they feel. And if they're as comfortable as people make them out to be, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to be very upset about it.
Don't just believe the internet. Yeah.
Because they don't look like they would be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like, yeah, it looks just like a big fucking rubber bulb on your foot.
Yeah, I mean, like with these, there's like I don't think all Crocs have these, but the like little bit of fur on the bottom is what I like really like. That's why I was cool because I put them on after my shower every time, and you would think it'd be hot, but not really. I guess just because like they have the like ventilation a little bit. Just that aspect, like I'm like, man, it's so comfortable because I'm normally like just I'm like one of those people. Like I think there's some people that like can walk around their house. Like I've seen people like our neighbors out here. This one dude to our left over here, I literally just saw him get in his truck like without shoes, like barefoot, and I'm just like, no. Like I cringe at the idea of like just all the grime getting on your foot, and then you like not go and shower that off and everything. I'm that way. Where like even if I did step outside barefoot, I'm still wearing socks. I've just always been like
my wife can walk around barefoot,
not in
just
public,
like, but like
well, yeah, but I mean,
house.
it's different. Like to me, it's different at like the beach or something. Like that's the experience of it. Even if you step on a rock or two, it's like, oh, I hurt myself, but like that's kind of it's like you're almost tapping into this is where our ancestors walked around. But like, what was I getting at with that? Oh, I was just saying that I'm a sock on guy, and But so for like a house shoe to be comfortable enough for me to wear all the time, like these are really good. It just they're literally just off-brand. Almost called it off-brand Sharks, off-brand Crocs. Hey, that actually, now that I think about the title and the name of it makes sense. It's literally just going for like, okay, Croc, but Sharks or whatever. Why were we talking about shoes?
Because I bought a pair of Crocs after I never buy Crocs. It's like I would never own them. Never. They're ugly. People are like, buy them, and I'm like, no. And then I was scrolling through Facebook.
I feel like you haven't yet, maybe, unless I'm wrong. But have you started Batman Caped Crusader yet?
I just saw that pop up as an advertisement on the TV yesterday, and I told Trista, I was like, I'm gonna have to watch that.
And you do have Prime Video. Oh, of course you have Prime Video. Yeah. You order from Amazon all the time. So
wow, just call me out like that, I guess.
I will say, well, I do too. I just like for a second I was like, wait, is that one of the streaming services he has? Like, is he able to watch it? But because for some odd reason, they decided to put this specific show, on Prime Video. I think some people are saying some sort of controversies about it online about like, oh, this is why I didn't hit max because they were like worried or something. I mean, whatever. But I'll just say this. Anybody that's a Batman fan, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody or anything like that, but it is definitely worth the watch. Like, I'll say, this is to Dustin, but everybody else too. Don't let the first episode be the judge of like how the show is going to be, because I personally think they did not hit it out of the park with a good first episode, because then it was the second one that I was like, and I've seen people say this, like I watched Tyrone Magnus, YouTuber, everybody kind of knows about him, but he's reviewing each one like a video at a time, episode at a time. So he reviewed episode 1, he's like, this is garbage or whatever. But episode 2, he's like, I was way more interested in this. Like, it was just like a 180 with his opinion. It wasn't until like the second, third episode that I'm like, okay, like, because they're doing, I mean, I'm not like, and this is coming from a Batman fan that's not like read all the comics and into like all the super like deep, like, oh, all the lore that's in the comics with Batman. Like, I'm like, Batman's always been my second favorite superhero, but like, I'm not like knowledgeable when it comes to the comics. It's the shows, it's the movies, and like some comics, but the animated stuff, obviously Batman the Animated Series is like just one of the best shows ever. Mm-hmm. But this is, I respect the time period. I as soon as I found out when the show was going to be like in the 40s, I was like, okay, this is a cool concept, because you get that noir feel, and so it obviously gave it an opportunity, because I like my Batman like grounded. Like, I'll always prefer, like, I love Justice League and stuff like that too, but I'll always prefer Batman just doing his thing in Gotham in his own world and grounded and like, and as dark as you can go without being like too weird where it's like, yeah, but Batman's also gonna kill. Like, it's like, he stays Batman, but like in a sort of dark world. So it has that in there. But like, yeah, that's just kind of the heads up I want to give you two, is like, yeah, I mean, you might even like the first episode, but like, and you'll see once you watch it why some people are like, what the heck, like the controversy or whatever, because some people are taking it to be woke, all right? Like, and we all know what woke even means, like, up today and stuff, so I don't necessarily think so, because what they did in that first episode, you'll know it when you see it. I found like, actually, this has never happened before, so sure, why not? Like, why would it have to be, like, the same thing again for this, like, particular character or whatever? So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I won't let the first episode be the judge. Got to the second, and that's where the show got good. And I'm like, okay. It was just weird how it didn't, like, it was kind of boring. And then the second one, I was like, all right, they're getting into, like, some stuff that I've never personally them do with Batman. Not that they changed the character, but like, Let me see. How can I not spoil something? I'll just the most minor thing I would say as a spoiler is just like the idea of Bruce Wayne going to a therapy session and like what would that be like? Because he has so much damage. Like so he has everything he is based on like that he has so many wounds. So I don't think I've ever seen, unless I'm not thinking of something that's happened in like the movies and stuff. Like I don't think I've ever seen a moment of like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne goes to therapy. Like I was like, wait, like it just all these different ideas, but also staying kind of true to like other characters and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good so far. I still gotta. I'm on like I think I'm in the middle of the fourth episode. I don't even remember how many there are, but very Batman noir, and I love that they went with like the detective comics sort of suit. Like the ears are kind of like they kind of stick out more, like more wide or whatever. So it's that classic sort of look. But Batman just kind of like everything Batman as a young Batman that's like kind of in a year one phase of his life. Nobody really knows what he is yet, and they're starting to figure out like what's this. All the criminals are like, "Have you heard about the Batman yet?" or whatever. Like very early, but he's put in the 1940s. I mean, it's a cool concept. I was excited about it, and then I forgot about it, and I think it dropped on like at the very end of July or something, and so I watched it day one, and I was hooked. Like as soon as I got to episode 2, I was like, yeah, this is sort of give me that feeling again of like the old animated series, but in the 40s, which I guess sort of the animated series always sort of had an old sort of noir feel to it in a way.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
But and I'll say this too, like obviously Kevin Conroy is not in it. So that kind of sucks, but honestly, I didn't even really think about it until like Batman, like a few times into Batman talking, I'm like, actually, you know what? This guy does a really good job of just like he could probably almost do a Kevin Conroy Batman impression and it be like spot on. I don't know, but yeah, I was just curious if you've seen it, but it's one of those things like everything's got to have controversy these days, and it's like I'm like kind of just staying off of all that. I'm just like I'm just gonna watch the show and enjoy it. I don't really care what anybody else thinks about it, of course, as you should approach everything, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
What else was I gonna say real quick? I guess we could start wrapping it up. So recommendations.
Recommendations. Oh man. Oh fuck.
Subscribe. No, I'm just no.
A recommendation. Damn. Watch on Hulu or read the novel by Stephen King called 11/22/63. It's really good.
Interesting.
That's my recommendation. Yeah.
Is
Kind
that
of a little
like one of those? I mean, is it like a kind of a thriller thing, or is it a
a
more
little
of
bit.
a horror thing?
It's not really horror. Essentially, this guy is a teacher and he teaches adults, like at night to help them get their GED. And he becomes friends with this guy over the like years that he's done this teaching job, that owns this diner, and he becomes really good friends with the owner while the owner is dying of cancer, and shows the main character of the story. Basically, this thing in his diner is a time portal that transports you back to 1958, and the whole premise of this story is like he is traveling back in time to stop JFK from being assassinated, but also change like other things and like change lives of the people he's met doing this teaching thing that grew up and had it really hard.
Dang, and like the change that America would have been at the time too, if it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder if they. So wait, you're saying that's a Hulu series?
It's a series on Hulu as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out because I've always been kind of obsessed with those like historical moments and when they make movies or shows about like or documentaries, of course, about like JFK or anybody like that. I'm always curious. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. I'm trying to think of what my recommendation is gonna be. Oh, kind of what I said earlier. Stop overthinking about creating the thing you want to create and just make it and see what happens. Even if you make even if it's YouTube and you make the video private for like a month, like just make it and then decide, okay, I'm gonna finally public it. Just do it and it's streaming or whatever because it's gonna you're gonna have like a weight come off you and you finally do that thing you've always wanted to do. Like don't let life distract you too much to not be able to create. And it's easy to do. And you just like do your job and just go day to day. But if you're deep down unhappy, like fix that. Like do the thing. I feel like as humans we all need to just there's whatever you're passionate about. Have that fulfillment, fill that hole in your heart kind of thing. Like you need to do it because a lot of people just don't live. I feel like because they just put things off for so long. Mm-hmm. And I've done it too. I've done it 1,000 times. I'm the world's biggest procrastinator. Dustin knows I never send packages. But yeah, it's one of those things. But anyway, guys, we love you. Check us out on Spotify if you haven't yet. We also are over there for audio. But I think for right now, it's mainly just Spotify and YouTube. So check us out. Subscribe if you haven't. Like it if you're on YouTube. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.